All right, and thank you, and welcome to another edition of an evening with Remy Centauri and Cobra Commander, coming to you from atop Hilltop Studios. And today we're going to be talking about my top 10 guitar players of all time. And we're going to discuss this evening. And of course, I'm coming from atop Hilltop Studios. And without further ado, I just want to say, give a shout out to all my friends in Azalea, Oregon, Heaven on Earth restaurant. Some of the best cinnamon bread with a slab of butter in Azalea, Oregon, off of Interstate 5. And also to my friends at Acreage Holdings for your CBD and THC needs. Proprietors of The Botanist, go to The Botanist. And like I said, that's Acreage Holdings, my buddies out there. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in my one and only Cobra Commander coming in right now. We're going to discuss the top 10 on my list. And good evening to you, Mr. Cobra Commander.
What's going on there, Mr. Centauri?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. This evening, I am without my frog skins. Uh, for apparently, I've been having some technical issues with my new LCD screen. Vale verga. for all my for all the people out there that speak Spanish, you understand what I'm saying. And for those of you who do not speak Spanish, well, too bad. But today we're going to discuss. What was it? You're good. All right.
Yeah.
Today we're going to discuss my top 10 guitar players of all time. Well, over the years, these have changed. Sometimes, every few years. But I think I have a solid top 10 right now. And Mr. Cobra gave us his list last week, which is it's a very good list. And but this evening, we're going to talk about my list of the top 10. And so, but before we go into any of that, we're going to discuss a couple of things here. And once again, I want to say, shout out to all our friends out there. Anya Seol, Konbanwa, Sawani Donyen, Good Naben, y buenas noches. So I think I covered all my bases there. Am I correct, Mr. Cobra?
Yeah. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Oh my God. Oh boy. I haven't had nacho in a long time. But so let's see here. We're gonna and once again we said hello to our friends at Heaven on Earth. The cinnamon bread with a slab of butter, and of course to my friends of Acreage Holdings. And currently, right now, we're also going to talk about a couple of things that are going on in the world today and crazy current events before we get to the list. And right now, we're still with the pandemic. People wearing their masks. And
some people need to wear that damn mask, man.
What's that?
Todas las pellitas.
Yeah. Those things they're a pain in the butt, and but I mean we have to do it. We have. Well, I can understand the science behind it. We discussed this before. The science behind it, where you can be a carrier, a transmitter, kind of like herpes. Not that I would know anything about that, but yeah, you can transmit. I mean, don't think just about yourself. Think about the people that you're gonna meet up with later on. So I think that should be awareness enough to, that you don't want to infect anyone. I mean, you may be in good health, but the other person may not. So, but I know that there's a lot of people that are, they make a scene that they don't want to wear the mask. I mean, if you don't want to wear the mask, just stay at home. But they're opting to act like fools. Have you seen any of that video, Cobra?
There's kind of like a mixed message on that, man, because they say that it works and it don't work, and they need to make up their damn mind if it does work or it doesn't work. The thing is that you're basically covering yourself, from transmitting something that you may or may not have to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say that the damn mask works or not?
Yeah. But also, I mean, in certain parts, I mean, it's a law, not just state, but also, well, not local, but just also state.
The governors, some of the governors are signing executive orders that it's mandatory people wear masks. But then again, you have all the law enforcement that say that they're not going to enforce it.
Well, I haven't heard about that. That's interesting. Well, I mean,
kind of like basically you're taking someone's right away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how other countries are dealing with this. Yeah, particularly like in China and in Japan, Korea. But I mean, because it's right next to the countries where it originated from.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're dealing with that. But a lot of people say here in the United States, well, what I know, I'm in the Yukon territory, that the virus is going to be it's going to be over with after November 3rd.
Yeah.
What's your thinking about that?
I don't know, man. Over here in parts unknown, there is no coronavirus, man.
Yeah, well, there's not too much of anything, except for my nephew there. Yep. But they say that after November 3rd, it's going to be gone. They say that the media can only carry this so far.
Well, there's so much bullshit about it. I mean, they're saying it's going to go away. Then they're saying it's going to be seasonal like the flu.
Mm-hmm.
Like the seasonal flu, that time of the year, and everybody starts getting sick. And I've heard so much crap about this thing. I wish it was all over already, man. I think it's been blown way out of proportion. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's that's the thing about it. It has been blown out of proportion, and I mean, well, it's just a wait and see. It's a wait and see, and but also, I mean, I know that sports is trying to come back somewhat, but I mean, when you have players, getting sick, you're not going to have much of a team.
Yeah, that.
I don't know. It's going to be kind of weird for people to return back to these places.
Yeah, with the NBA supposedly starting up, but there's not going to be an audience or a crowd, or it's just going to be the players.
We see they make a lot of money off of commercialization, or the ads on TV.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
What's gonna occur there, and of course you also have Major League Baseball as well. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what's gonna happen with all that, and of course, I mean you have professional organizations that have to change their names. They. I don't understand how the killing of one African American is making a American sports franchise changed their name from the Redskins to something else. What does that have anything to do with the killing of this man? I mean, I think they're just and then they're defacing all these monuments, for no
Yeah.
reason, just for the fact that
It's like,
they they
what is that gonna do?
they're not going to do anything. They're not
You
going
know,
to
it's
do
like
anything.
taking it down. What is that gonna do?
It's not going to do anything. I would say George Santayana, I believe, he said, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. You
Yeah,
know, you have to look at these things and say, that's what's bad. You know,
yeah.
that
It's
was
kind of like
that
part
a
of
long time ago,
the
and
history
we
of
should
this
learn. We
country.
should never go back to this.
Yeah, but it should be there as a reminder.
Yeah,
You know,
not
say,
not not anything. Not anything's going to glorify it, but
hmm,
but to say that we were like that one time, but we're no longer like that.
yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody moved on. Some people don't want to move on.
yeah, and so it's ridiculous. I remember there was a talk show a long time ago, or a few years ago, where um, there was this one liberal, what's his name? With JD the Brick and the guy he his partner. Um, he he's liberal, and he was saying, well, I think we should change the name to something else, the Redskins, right? To some other name, and so they actually got an actual Native American from a reservation, right? And he said, so what do you feel about this? Or do you feel offended? And he said, no, not really. I mean, here in the reservation, we have football teams. In fact, one of the teams, is called the Redskins. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so and then so the guy, the liberal sports broadcaster, uh, he was like, "Oh, okay, well then." He couldn't say much of anything. He basically just shut him down. Like it didn't offend him, and he was pure Native American.
Mm-hmm.
So um, and he said what happens is that you have people that leave the reservation and they go to these colleges in the east, and they come back with these weird ways of thinking, right? And for us, it's we don't think this way or that way, and of course a lot of these people that want or want the change aren't even Native Americans themselves. Have you
Yeah.
actually seen a Native American protesting? Right? No, you've seen a bunch of white folk protesting that it's not right, but you haven't seen an actual Native American. So I think, yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
has a guilty conscience there.
yeah. I mean, it's just not right, you know.
So I was
But
I was reading this funny meme. It says Corona season, then riot season, now hurricane season. Do I need a mask, a Glock, or do I need a generator?
yeah, that's true. We don't. It's just everything's changing just so uh, quickly.
Yeah.
We went from one extreme to, and of course, we've stopped talking about the children in the border that are in supposed cages, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And we forgot about those guys. What about those people? What happened to those people? Oh,
Yeah.
they're probably gonna come, they're probably gonna make their rounds again sometime in November. We're gonna come back to those people,
Yeah.
and but it is
Well,
really
after the
weird.
election, right?
It's really weird, but I just don't know what to make of it. I really don't know. Um, but in any case, we've talked enough about what's going on in this crazy world that we exist in, and hopefully, when we leave this plane, we go into another existence where it's not as crazy, or maybe it's going to be really crazy. But I think we need a break from what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, Mr. Cobra Commander, let's see here, and this is of course the top 10 um, guitarist of all time for me anyway. We're looking at see what we got here. This is a list that was comprised by my many years of listening to rock and roll. I have the blown out ears to qualify to make these choices. Some people will say, you know what, Remy, that's a damn good list. Well, thank you very much. And some people will say, Remy, you know what the hell you're talking about. What the hell with you? So let's see here. We're gonna go with the first of the top 10 list at number, and these are of course. There's a table with 10 chairs, and each one of these people will occupy one of these chairs. This one in particular can sit on my lap, but I have a chair for her, and that would be none other than this gal right here, who plays for the Iron Maidens and goes by the name of Ms. Courtney Cox. I've heard her, and there's other female guitar players out there. Lita Ford. Who was the other one you mentioned?
Nita Strauss,
Yeah, there we go.
who played along with Courtney Cox in the Iron Maidens.
Mm-hmm.
Are
there any other ones?
Lindsay Hale.
Okay.
And that chick that was married to your boy Kurt Cobain.
Well, you know, she was, how should I say? She's a performer, kinda, but she's more of a freak. Okay. I mean, but as far as like a slasher, I mean, this girl can can really play. So at number 10, I think I have a solid pick here, and she represents the the females. The, and I've I think she put out some solo material that I've seen. I mean, I'm sorry, I've heard of, and it's really good. The name of that instrumental is escaping me right now. I had downloaded it on iTunes, and I can't find the damn thing anymore. But for at number 10, it's Courtney Cox, and she puts on a great performance for the Iron Maidens, and the Iron Maidens are a group. If you have some time to go out and spend some good hard cash and drink a few suds, you want to go see these girls. And I mean, yes, they are easy on the eyes, but they are damn good performers. Would you agree with me, Mr. Commander?
Yep.
Yeah. So I know they came down here years ago. The last time I heard, um, but if they ever come down here, I'm starting to go and check them out. I really would. All right, and of course at that's the number 10. This lady has a seat at my table. All right. So, uh, and of course at number 9, the late great Steve Clark from, of course, Def Leppard. And one of the instrumentals he did with Def Leppard is called the Switch. Have you heard of it?
I can't say that I have.
It's it's a damn good jam. It really is. And I don't know if I could bring it up here. Let me see here. Um, let's see here. No, 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 no. Let's see here. You watching this here, Lou? I mean, Commander?
All I see is Steve Clark, man.
Okay. All you see is Clark. Okay, there we go. Commander, Cobra, parts unknown. Can you hear this?
Nope.
No? Okay, no, it sucks. Can you hear that?
No.
Lou?
Mm-mm.
Cobra? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, at number 10, I mean, I'm sorry, number 9 is Steve Clark. And he's, one of the founders of Def Leppard until he is untimely. I think he done like an OD, right?
Yep.
And so he's any question whether or not he should be in this group, you have to listen to the switch, and then you'll say, I can see why Remy picked him at number 9. So for that, he has a place at my table at number 9. And then what we're going to do here is at number 8 is this guy right here.
Carlos
And
Santana.
this is, of course, Mr. Carlos Santana. And of course, he's a toker. He's gotten in trouble with the law a couple of times
No.
back in the 80s.
Mm.
But now with what's going on in California, it seems you can do everything, including a goat. But Carlos, of course, the music scene from was in Mexico, era de Mexico, tocando en las calles la guitarra. His father was also a musician. Not too long ago, a few weeks ago, his brother died, right?
No.
Yeah, he passed away, and that's sad. But yeah, he came to prominence during the Woodstock. Okay, and I believe, I mean, he put on one of the best performances, out there, if not probably the best performance. But he did it. He was on LSD at the time, So yeah, but no, he's a great performer, smooth guitar playing, and I've seen him in concert one time. Would I pay to see him again? Probably so. I would. But he's definitely, he represents Los Mexicanos. Okay, so with much respect. But like I said, le gusta la hierba también. So, and I'm not just saying because of that, but I'm saying because he's a really good performer. And I think I'm going to get the Amazon Masterclass. I think he teaches a masterclass. So, it has several classes, and I'm they're going to show this guy. So I'm certainly going to probably get it for a few months or something like that, or whatever the introductory price is. So what about Santana? What's your feeling on him?
Well, really, a pioneer. Like I said, the Chicano style. A lot of hits. Oye Como Va, Black Magic Woman. And the list goes on and on, man. So this guy's like a pioneer.
Well, and also we failed to remind ourselves about is that night at the Grammys, um, he got he won 8 um, Grammys. He tied Michael
Mm-hmm.
Jackson. You know, I forgot what year it was, but he did a he did a good job. So I don't know if he's going to be putting out any more hits. I think now he's just probably sitting on his front porch playing the guitar and and uh, and moving his toes barefooted.
Yep.
You know, taking it easy. Pues tiene bastante lana. You know. So,
Yep.
but that's Mr. Santana. He's got a seat at my table at number 8, and he's the guy who's bringing the tamales. So there, with much respect. All right, and of course now Mr. Cobra, and at number 7 is this guy right here. Now, this guy in Santana, as gentlemen in Santana, do have a history. It's Mr. Neil Sean. Um, during the time when Santana was, going to start to tour, he asked for this. Well, he was like 17, 18 years of age to tour with him, and he turned him down. You know, not that he thought it was all that, but I think I don't know what the story was behind it, but he didn't. Or did he tour with them? Do you recall,
No, I don't know,
Lou?
man.
I mean, Cobra?
Not a big fan of Journey, so I really have no clue.
You don't think he's a? I mean, he's a good guitar player.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. It's just that's not my genre that I go to, so I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
can't say anything about it because I don't know the guy and I really don't know his music.
Right. Yeah, no, he's a really good guitarist, uh, and he's he's in a well. He used to do a lot of the rock ballads, kind
Hmm.
of like if you recall, um, Boston,
Yeah.
right? Boston, they did a lot of rock ballads,
Hmm.
and and he just kind of followed that you know as well. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Let me see here. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's Mr. Sean there. Yeah, so this is Mr. Sean here. Okay, so this is like I said,
Hmm.
he's one of the better rock ballad guitar players, along with like I said, guys from Boston, um, Ariel Speedwagon, um, and countless
Hmm.
others. But I mean, this is basically the upper echelon of guitar players when it comes to that particular style. And
Hmm.
but I don't know if he tours, but he uh, he doesn't tour with Steve Perry anymore, which is kind of sucks. He has another singer. I mean, he's good, but unless you bring Steve with you, you know, you're not gonna get the sold out shows anymore. You know, have you what song from Journey would you say you really you kind of like?
I don't know. I've really never listened to Journey, man, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, y'all, Chris, your genre is heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, he's a really good axeman, but it's because his style of play. I tell him he could probably get up on stage here with Iron Maiden and those guys and go lick for lick. That I don't doubt. But and that's of course Mr. Sean. He's at number 7. So let's see here, and then of course at number 6 is going to be this guy, Mr. Mark Knopfler, and of course he's with Dire Straits, the Sultans of Swing.
Yep.
Do you? What's that?
Money in for nothing, right?
Yeah, money for nothing, your chicks for free. Yeah. He's a finger picker.
Yeah.
And he's one of the better finger pickers out there. But he's someone once again who's back in the '80s who was performed really, really well, and his style of guitar playing is one of the best. Let me see here. And of course, it's Mr. Mark Knopfler.
They were from England, right, or something like that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Commander, yeah, they're from England. Yeah. So he's of course now he's up in age. He's he has now he's just getting accolades of all the work that he's done throughout his years of playing. But he's really good, and I don't know if he'll make it down to these parts again, but if he does, I would certainly go and check him out.
Yeah, I'd go check out Dire Straits.
Yeah, I mean he's Mr. Mark Knopfler at number 6. Oh, we're getting close to number 1. So right now, at number 5, this man, regardless of my how my list will change throughout the years, when I'm 75, 80 years of age, if my 1 through 4 and 6 through 10 change, this gentleman here will always have a place. And probably always at number 5. And that being said, now this man has a permanent seat at my table, and that would be Mr. Gary Richrath, the late Gary Richrath with REO Speedwagon. Truly, once again, he's in the style of a Neil Sean. Do you any particular songs that stand out?
Take It on the Run. Keep on Loving You.
She doesn't like the tough guys.
Yeah.
She says they got brains on where they sit.
And it's like you try to do covers on his solos or some of the hardest solos to learn. Just the way he played, his style.
Yeah, I think it's probably self-taught, I guess. I mean, he passed away a few years ago. Complications from some surgery, but he had left REO Speedwagon because he was actually one of the original members. Well, actually, it was Neil Doughty, and Alan Gratzer, and then Gary came in after that, or I don't know if it's at the same time, but then we brought in Kevin Cronin, the singer, still the singer to this day, and but they collided too much, and which wasn't, it's not good for business,
Yeah.
and he he went his way, and Kevin and the rest of the group went their way, and um, that was that. And but he put out great music during the time that he was alive. And let's see here. I mean, he had the entire thing when it came to 80s get solos. The He had the look, he had the stance, he could play. He just had the style. He was a good axeman, and we need more axemen like this guy. Um, he was a complete guitar player. He wrote the lyrics to several songs for Aria Speedwagon, but he was a guitar hero to a lot of people, and they started with back when they had a you can tune a piano but you can't tune a fish. That was
Hmm.
that was a live album that they did, because back then Peter Frampton was and others were putting out live albums, and they put out that live album,
Yeah.
and it did actually pretty well. And so, but these are one of the guys that occupied the 80s scene, the 80s rock, and to this day he his music's still out there. In fact, High Infidelity uh, hit diamond status, which
Hmm.
means that you you hit 10 million albums, you hit diamond status. Billy Joe has done it twice. ZZ Top has done it once. Um, Garth Brooks has done it 6 times. Something ridiculous like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know about like any like Motley Crue or those guys.
Garth
You're
Brooks.
what's that?
Garth Brooks.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I understand he's country. However, to be able to sell, 60 million albums well, every album hit diamond status at 10 million. That's
Yeah.
pretty significant. And but these guys did it with High Infidelity, and I think they have a remastered version for the 30th anniversary of High Infidelity. So if you all happen to have iTunes or Spotify, whatever, I would say download that album and take a look at it, or listen to it. It's really good, and they'll take you back. And for those younger people who don't know what we're talking about, well then you'll learn something about good music.
Y'all missed out on that. You don't make music like that no more, man.
No, they don't. Oh man. I mean, I wish I could could go back, and but we're doomed to have to play the entire game to the end. And that was the number 5. Mr. Gary Richroth will always have a seat at my table. However, at number 4, this gentleman, it's another gentleman here. Uh, he drinks alone. Yeah, with nobody else. When I drink alone, I prefer to be by myself. There we go. And that's, of course, Mr. George Thorogood, Mr. Bad to the Bone.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something about George. What do you know?
Yeah, George Thorogood, man. Bad to the bone. Kind of like me, Cobra Commander.
Huh?
Yeah,
He's
that's kind of that would be kind of like my entrance song.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah. He's got other
Yeah. What is that other one? The one whiskey, one.
one what's it? Um, one shot of
One
bourbon,
shot and one beer or something like that.
one 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 shot of what's it
You
called?
know, you know a crazy
Oh
story
yeah, it's
about
one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer.
yeah, there you go. Crazy story
Yeah.
about George Thorogood, man, is my jefito.
Uh-huh.
You know, when we were young, he would take us to the bar to go shoot pool.
Oh, okay.
And man, first thing he did was go to the jukebox, and you know, "Bad to the Bone" was gonna be the first song that played, man. Because you know, my jefito
Right.
was he was bad to the bone, you know. So
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot
I
of
mean,
memories
but
with
this
that song right there.
yeah. The interesting about George is that he's not from the South. He has a blues kind of sound to him, right?
Yeah.
He he is because he's got his George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers,
Uh-huh.
right? But he's got that sound of a very blues. Now he's played with a lot of blues guys,
Yeah.
but
He's got that old
he's
school rock. Like, let me tell you a
mhm,
story about this, or let me tell you a story about how this
yeah,
went down. You know, like kind of like that old '50s kind of,
yeah,
but he made it his own in his era.
yeah. And I don't know if he makes it to my parts. I'm sure he has. But it was probably one time. It was probably years ago when I didn't have any money.
Hmm.
But I can tell you right now, Michelle probably would not like this. Michelle would like Journey. Michelle would like with Santana, but I don't think Michelle would, or in Oreo Speedwagon. But Michelle would not like George Thorogood. You know, I can tell you that right now. And but he's a good axeman, old style, kind of like
Of course,
um,
Michelle wouldn't like that, man. That's you know, music for badasses right there. So
yeah, no, she's Michelle grew up in the '90s, so um, she wouldn't. Oh, I won't say she wouldn't appreciate it, but she wouldn't like. How can you listen to this? Yeah, but no, that's Mr. George Thorogood at number four, inching closer to number one, and that's Mr. George Thorogood. That's interesting. Your father played that and going in there
hmm
bars. All right.
well, I mean, he's he's a badass, you know.
Well, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. And we're going to number three. This is a person that I've seen many times, uh, 13 times to be exact. And his name is Alex. His real last name is Zajovanich. Um, but and Zajovanich is short for Son of Life. But he also goes by Alex Lifeson from Rush. And of course, he is someone who progressive rock, um, La Via Strangata is one of the even Kirk Hammett, who they interviewed for the documentary. He was like, that's like really tough to play. You he gave much respect to Alex. Have you heard of La Via Strangata?
Nope.
Okay,
I
if
only
if
know one
Kirk's
Rush
listened
song.
if Kirk's listened to it, you should listen to it.
All right.
Yeah,
I only
yeah. I
know
mean,
one
he's
Rush
it's
song, and you know which one that one is.
which one's that one?
Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer. Tom
So when it
Sawyer's
hit you,
good, but I think what makes Tom Sawyer is the drumming from Neil.
yeah,
Um, but you know, Lifeson has a lot of great. One of the ones that I love so much is Between the Wheels. That is a great solo on that one, and he's and I tell you um, that one. Um, uh, Limelight, The Analog Kid, These are all, just great guitar playing by someone who, um, like I said, he revolutionized, the progressive style of rock guitar playing, and you know, unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever see him again live. 13 times for me was not enough. There's people who have seen this gentleman over 200 times, you know, and they probably, oh, I've been to, this is my 75th show, or this is my 80th show, you know. And I've only seen him 13 times, and you can't get enough of of Alex. I can't anyway, but I won't be able to see him anymore because Neil, the drummer, has passed away. Uh, the thinking like maybe they'll tour again won't come to pass uh, because Neil is gone, and hopefully Alex can one day maybe play on someone's album. He's now basically a studio musician, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and a really good musician at it at that. But but for the time that I saw him, I cherished those moments of him playing the guitar. And the camera eye, God, that's another one right there. That's a damn good song. It really is. So I would recommend La Via Strangata, the camera eye, live versions if you can, and of course Between the Wheels, which is also another great tune from Russian Neil, or should I say Russian and Alex. So we're nearing to the number two, and we left Mr. Alex, who has got a position at my table. But at number two, we'll go with this Dutch little boy by the name of Edward Van Halen, and who's actually a classically trained pianist, both he and his brother. And once again, he what he did is that. Have you ever heard the interview he did at that what's it the Nam um, the Nam music scene?
Uh,
No,
nope.
dude, he breaks it down. He's like, he'd say that growing up he couldn't afford the fuss boxes and all the items that that to give you all these special effects, right?
Mm-hmm. All
And
the
playing
pedals,
guitar.
back
And he
pedals.
said, that he had to develop ways to be able to make these sounds. So he took everything, if there was something he could do with the guitar, he would. He maneuvered it every kind of way to get the sound that he wanted because he couldn't afford all this expensive stuff all these other people were using, right? And that's where he gets the finger tapping. He gets, what do they call it? Um, Desperation is a motivator or something like that. Isn't there a saying
Yeah.
like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, desperation is the greatest motor for inventing stuff or something like that. I don't know. You may want to look that up, Mr. Cobra Commander. Uh, desperation is the greatest motivator. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if you want
he
to
broke.
do something or learn something, you really want it, then you're gonna go get it.
Yeah. Well, I remember that he said that. No, actually, Alex, his brother Van Halen, was number three at the on my list of top 10 drummers a few weeks ago. He said that he would go out, Alex would, to go party and drink with his friends, right? And then Eddie would be on the corner of his bed playing the same note over and over and over, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
Alex would say, "Okay, look, man, you don't want to go out. I'm gonna go have a few drinks, right?" He's Dutch. He likes beer. Anyway, so like 3 or 4 hours later, he comes back, and Eddie's still on the corner of the bed playing that same thing, trying, same note, trying to get it down, over and over, but that's just persistence. And another thing is that, of course, Eddie doesn't read music. Now, I mean, I don't know if many people know that, but his piano teacher, found that out. It's like, you know how to read music, and he said, no, I never learned how to read music. I just follow what you do with your hands. It's like, oh, okay. So this is where the tablature comes in, you know. But he's any things any music from Eddie that you like?
Yeah, of course. Jump. What was
Okay.
it? Hot for Teacher. Eruption.
Well, one of the ones that I really like is 5150. The title to the album 5150 is good. Little Guitars from Diver Down. Um, which other ones? Um, Little Guitars, and then it's a Radioactive Punk. I think that's another one, right? But there's several songs, but it's his style of play.
Yeah.
No one has that particular sound that he has. He even said, when he would try to do cover music,
Hmm.
he said, no matter what he did, it still sounded like him. He couldn't he couldn't make it sound like that, like the artist.
Hmm.
So now, right now, I know he has some health issues going on right now, and I think it's a cancer thing. I believe it's cancer, or that's published reports are saying anyway. And let me see here. Yeah, so this is of course with Mr. Sammy Hagar. I hope he gets back with Sammy because he's I think he put
That's
out
the thing with
really good music with Sammy, and
Van Halen, though, man, is they're always at each other's throats. If it's not David Lee Roth, and it's something with Sammy or something with Michael Anthony. I mean, it's like, man, can't y'all just get along? You know?
yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of money, right? Um, when you have that kind of money, it's gonna it's going to people start getting egos, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's what it is um, with that. But you know, he's someone who's revolutionized guitar playing. He builds his own guitars. He was friends with Les Paul. I mean, in the interview, he's like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm asleep, and then I get a phone call. It's Les Paul.
Hmm.
He's like, and Les Paul's like, he's saying, so Eddie, what are you working on right now? Oh, I'm working on, trying to come up with a better guitar pick. And Les Paul's like, yeah, only me, you, and Tom Fender can make guitars. No one else can. So that says a lot about Ibanez right there. But so that's he's at number two. He will always occupy. He will occupy a place at my table. So thank you very much, Mr. Edward Van Halen. And of course, at number one, this man was great in his time. I think I think he could have gone toe to toe with your guy, which of course is Randy Rhoads.
Hmm.
We're talking about Mr. Stephen Ray Vaughan. It was just a monster playing guitar, and I think we lost him too soon. You know, what are your thoughts about
Yeah.
Stevie Ray?
Stevie Ray was is the greatest, one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he was also one of his idols was Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he does his version of Voodoo Child, and but like I said, he was uh, just phenomenal uh, guitar player, and like I said, he left us too soon. But he does occupy uh, a place um, at the at my table, and let me see here. Let's see here. What do we got here? Let's see here. Get rid of this right here. This is, I don't know, this is like Austin City Limits or something.
Yeah. Looks like it.
That was a terrible one.
He's have what was that song? Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Hmm.
Yeah.
From my understanding, he uses a full bridge. That's when I get a guitar string busted,
Mm-hmm.
he continued to play with five strings, and you couldn't tell the difference. You know, um, but he was just, as BB King said, he was like a transmitter. The music came from above and just came through him, and he transmitted it to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bad guy on guitar, and I do have some of his music on iTunes, and but like I said, I wish he could put out much more material. And I know he did work with David Bowie in the beginning. Well, early on,
Mm-hmm.
he played with David Bowie, but I mean, well, all I can say is that Mr. Stevie Ray Vaughan is at number one. So I don't know between Stevie Ray and Randy Rhoads. I don't know, man. Los dos se dan pecherazos, right?
Well, different styles, man. Different genres.
Different genres, yeah. I still want to do the one where you and I do the mashups. You know, that'd be that right there. For that we need, um, Maximus. Max is gonna come on this and tell us what he thinks. Of course, I have to get my technical issues uh, fixed by then. Um, but but yeah, I think Maximus. So far we have done drummers,
Mm-hmm.
guitar players. Now we're needing bass players.
Yep.
Okay, that's something we can. How about Friday? This
Yeah,
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Friday sounds good.
I
All
already
right.
gave you my list, man.
All right. Right. We'll talk about it. Talk about it on Friday,
All right.
and we'll discuss the list when talking to your aunt, um, Miss Miss Aunt Bashful. She's like, oh, uh, she's like, um, you know, bass players are a little bit tougher, you know, since they're in the background and all. But there's some that do stand out. But you really gotta, you know, I think where a bass player stands out is usually like if you go listen to him live. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean,
The
live is
bass
where it's.
players, it's all about. If you look at most of the bass players, the influences come from Motown. the funk,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So because the bass is the groove.
Right.
It's a groove part of the music.
Right. Um, that's true. That's true. Get that Motown thing going. But there, you got some bass players that are very versatile. They can go from playing one thing to another. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like Geddy Lee goes from playing, rock to reggae. Just transitions really well. And of course, then you got the players like Steve Harris, who they they just have that speed, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they say he sounds like a galloping horse. And of course, you also have Flea, right?
Yeah, Flea, Red Hot Chili
Flea,
Peppers.
Flea, and then you got others. But that's something we'll come to in the next few days. I want to thank everybody who has come on board and wanted to all our friends out there, Mr. Cobra Commander, to everyone in Korea, Japan, Thailand, and Germany, and in parts of South America. Annyeonghaseyo, Konbanwa, Sawani Donyen, Good Ben, and of course, Buenas noches. And all right, well, for myself and Mr. Cobra Commander, I just want to say thank you for joining us. And if you have any comments, please leave them. You want to follow us, please do so. This will, of course, be on a either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. These are the places you can come and um, leave your thoughts. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Well, I was going to bring that up, but I guess not. All right. Well, Cobra, I guess I'll be speaking to you in the next few days. We'll do this
All right.
again. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank everyone for listening to my top 10, and we'll do it again next few days. All right.